Rich Horton. I'm a Ward 1 resident. I proudly walked to the meeting tonight, so thanks for holding it in my neighborhood. That was great. A couple things is I think I get really nervous when we start talking about trying to control what type of businesses come into the city and get built. I think that's just a very scary place to go as far as deciding what should be, what stores should be downtown, what stores should be on King Street. The market's going to develop what it's going to develop, and I think part of the 2002. I remember I wasn't as actively involved at that point. I'm actually on the Economic Development Committee of the Chamber, but in 2002, I remember reading lots of stories about how we didn't want the big box and we had to have zoning that prevented the big box. Well, clearly we were successful in preventing the big box because in the last 10 years, Hadley has accepted the big box and has now lots of big box stores over in Hadley. So clearly we were successful in that regard, and King Street still looks like crap. I mean, it's just a horrible place, and I hear people talking about being embarrassed of King Street. And depending who you talk to, you get a different vision of what embarrassed means. But the reality is we have lots of big empty spaces with lots of stores that could have developed, could have had tax revenue for the city, could have created more stores that were closer to Laurel Park and other places, regardless of the bike issue. But 5 years ago, somebody could have put a really tremendous development in the Hillendale Mall spot, maybe. That could have been a great epicenter for all of the things we're talking about tonight. So I think it's really important that we be open and not restrictive as far as the zoning goes. Certainly, we don't want to be willy-nilly and allow anything to go, but certainly we want to expand it so it's a clear path for people. I think we talked earlier in the night about the fact that the current zoning regulations are so hard to get through. So a developer who might want to develop a spot comes into town from Ohio, wherever they are, and say, we want to put this development here. They take one look at the zoning regulations and don't even go any further because it's so unpredictable for them to know what's going to happen as far as the outcome comes. So I think that's a really important piece of the zoning revisions, is that the outcome needs to be very predictable, and it needs to allow for the growth and development that we need King Street to have.